Our next guest is one of the biggest stars on the internet, and today she's joining us to talk about her song Be Happy, the remix featuring Lil Mosey and Black Bear. Dixie D'Amelio, thank you so much for pulling up to Fresh Out.
Hi.
Tell us about your song Be Happy. I think we can all interpret what the song means, but tell us what it means to you and how this song came about.
So this was probably in April, was one of the first times I heard this song, and I was like, I really related to it because there are days where you just don't want to be happy, just want to like chill at home, do nothing and refresh. And I really related to it. And then I kind of forgot about it, didn't know if I was going to do music or anything. And then when I was home during quarantine, I was like doing absolutely nothing every day, just nothing. And I was talking to my manager and he was like, everyone is relating to this song right now. Like, we should do it. Like, it'll be good. Trust me. And I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I was so nervous, never done. I haven't sang in years. And I was like, I don't know if I could do it. And then I did it and now I'm here.
Come on, girl. Now listen. You are giving me very like modest, very bashful, but we have to admit that song was a hit. But now Black Bear and Lil Mosey are in the mix. Tell us how this collaboration came about.
So I met Lil Mosey earlier in the year and we kind of just chit-chatted, like friends, whatever. And then I like didn't see him for a while. And then I ran into him one day and as a joke, I was kind of like, hey, like hop on my song. Like, that'd be so funny. And then he was like, yeah, huh? And so I went into the studio with him one day and he just like recorded a verse and I was like, what am I doing? This is crazy. What is happening? And then later I found out that Black Bear was on it because he DM'd me. I didn't know he was doing that. And then I texted my team. I was like, wait, what? Black Bear? And then it all came together. It was insane. They're both so sweet and so supportive. So it was awesome.
And that video is lit. I love it. You have like almost like 18 million and I'm probably most of them. One thing that your fans couldn't help but to point out was fellow influencer Noah Beck. Tell us how he came into play.
So basically the idea for the video is that scene would be back home in Connecticut and with like my ex and kind of just old and like thinking about times where I used to be happy and things like that. And so that was the idea about it. And then when we were thinking about who would be the person, I was like freaking out because I'm so awkward. If I had to like be all close to someone I didn't know, I don't think it would have been good. I was like, okay, what about just Noah? Like, whatever, we're friends, whatever. At the time we were just friends. And they're like, yes, that would be great. And I didn't think that it would get that much attention from everyone, like, what? And then we decided to do the kiss, which was so awkward because I knew my parents were watching in the next room, but yeah.
Oh my goodness. Like, and had your parents ever seen you guys peck or show any kind of affection?
No, because I'm not that person at all. Like, I'm so not like a out there person, PDA, never with like a boyfriend or anything. So I think my parents said they looked away. I really hope so because.
And speaking of your family, and I hope that they honored and they really didn't peek. It seems like you guys are super close. And we had a chance to see their reaction to the music video on your channel. But what was it like when they first heard the song?
My mom obviously cried. She cries like at everything, but they're just so happy because they didn't like push me to do it, but they're like, you want to find an outlet, get your emotions out, why not do music? Like, you can do it. And they both kind of were just very supportive, so they were very excited.
I love it. All right, so and how do you feel even about some of the comparisons where people say, you know, your family is the new modern Kardashians? What is that?
I think it's crazy, especially being compared to like such a amazing group of people like them and just so big, everyone knows them. It's insane, especially since this all happened in less than a year and where we are is completely different from where we were a year ago. So, I mean, take it as a compliment, but obviously we know that we have a long way to go.
There you go. And just speaking of reactions, right? You have a huge following on the internet. So I am so sure that you are no stranger to the dark side in some of the ways that the public can just be, right? When you are in the public eye. But were you nervous putting out your music versus your YouTube and your creative content?
Oh, I was terrified. It's just something I never really ever sang in front of people. I did choir at my first high school I went to, and then when my second high school, I didn't even like look at music. I didn't talk about it, anything, whatever. So that was a big surprise to even my friends who knew me forever when I was like, oh yeah, so I just released this song, whatever. I was terrified, but the reaction really changed my mind, and I feel like it could have gone either way, and I'm very happy with how it happened.
So listen, Dixie, we have this motivation. We have this new power, right? And this cannot stop here. I don't want to wait a year or two before I get some more of that hot music. What is next on this musical journey for you? Where do you see yourself taking this momentum?
Not sure what I can say, but very, very, very soon we'll get some stuff. I promise. AKA,
we have an album on the way, he on the way, and Jamila's gonna get first listen. That's my girl. So I have to ask you a final question. Dixie, we're in a new generation where some of the biggest songs on the charts first got their momentum on platforms like TikTok. You being a social sensation, what do you think about the importance of music, TikTok, and how can music and TikTok actually affect and help an artist's career?
Funny you asked this. I was talking, I did like an interview. I interviewed Trippie Redd the other day, and I asked him this, and I was like, I asked him if any of his songs blew up from TikTok, and he said, yeah, like there's songs from months ago that are popping off now, and it's crazy to see that. But also, I was like, is it embarrassing? Like if your songs are known as a TikTok song? And he's like, I don't care how it happens, it's happening. And I'm like, good to know. So it's crazy how artists like look at us and are like, hey, can you do a video to this song? I'm like, do you know who you are? You want, like when I was first starting, I was like, you're like famous. What do you mean you want me to do a video to it? So having that connection with artists and TikTokers and working together is great. And if I'm doing both, it's kind of like a win-win.
All right, now before I let you get out of here, we have to play a game that we like to call Fresh and Fast. Pick one, ready, set, go. Traveling or staying in?
Traveling.
Movies or TV shows?
TV shows.
Sandy beaches or snowy mountains?
Sandy beaches.
Glammed up or street style?
Both. I can't think.
Glammed up or street style?
Oh, street style. Yeah.
Sweet or savory?
Savory.
East Coast or West Coast?
East Coast.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dixie, for stopping by, kicking it with our Fresh Out Live crew.
Yay.